Hello guys, I'm Chess. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're not going to be developing any websites. We are going to be doing something different from what I have been doing on this page. This is going to be my first Figma video. I'm going to be designing this website on Figma. It is responsive. This is the web view and this is the mobile view, so this website is very much responsive. Yeah, so we're going to be learning how to just put all this in place in Figma for front-end developers like me who are trying to transition to UI UX. This video is going to be good for you. I am not a UI UX designer. I'm just a web developer trying to transition to UI UX. So this is not my work. This is just a template that I had cloned using the images that I took from this website. All my work are from Team Wagon. This is not sponsored, but everything I do in this page is from Team Wagon. There you could get free UI UX templates to recreate as a front-end developer or UI UX developer. You could see free works and they're all good. This is very responsive. The presentation of this website in prototype mode, so yeah, you could tell it's very interactive. Lastly, I have linked the assets to the description. I've linked this Figma link to the description box where you can get all these images that I had used for this website, and also the logos as well. I've linked them so you don't have to worry where to get these images from. They are here. This Figma file is editable because I had created this for us to play with. Actually, this is like you signing your name. You can sign your YouTube username, your nickname, anything, your Twitter name. You're gonna just add a variant and just put your name here and search, so that I'm going to know that okay, Princess came here, which is me, Joseph, Electron, Hero. So I'm just going to know that you came here. Yeah, I'm going to know that you came here. And I can't wait to fill this whole frame with your names, and if we can even expand the frame to fill more names, we will. But yeah, I can't wait to fill this frame with your names. So that's it for the introduction. See you in the video. Bye. Now let's get to this tutorial. I want to create a frame for the desktop, and what I'm choosing is desktop. This is the normal desktop, which is 1440 and 1024 for height, 1440 for width. I want to create a large frame here. Is where I will like store my components. So let's give it the same height with this. Here I name it component. In this frame, I like to create a frame for my header, which I would use on my website. I would also want to give it a stroke, so we're gonna so we could see what is going on here. But I'm gonna remove the stroke. The stroke is temporary. We come into the assets where we could see the logo. We're gonna copy it. Then here under this frame, I'm gonna paste it. So the logo is pasted on this frame. We name this frame header. And now I would like to create the nav links used for this header. Here I picked my text too, and I'm going to write home. I'm going to make sure my text is selected. Come over here, change this to just 18 pixels, regular. Here I want to convert this to a frame. I set this to auto layout. I'm going to remove the gap because there's only one element that's here. Then I'm going to create a component and add a variant. The second variant I'm adding, I wanted to have a drop down menu. So I'll head over here to Iconify. I already have a drop down menu already because it's the last thing I searched for. But let's just search for drop down menu, which is going to bring this and import it as a frame. So the drop down menu is imported already. Let's increase this. But I want it to be on the other side, so you can click it and just move it to the other side. I think it's good already. I'm gonna go back to my header, which is here. And in my header, I would like to bring in this nav link I just created. So I'll go to my assets, which shows I've created one file here, and bring in my home. Click back on file. Here, I would like to name this from frame 1 to nav links. So it's gonna be like follow, that's nav links. I'm gonna click on my header, which is my frame for the header, convert this to an auto layout. I'm also going to convert the gap to auto. I could see it has a pattern here, so I'm going to remove it. And I am setting the gap once more to auto, which it already is now in auto. It's taking the two ends of the frame. For my home, I would like to duplicate it. So I'm saying Ctrl D. I like to select all my nav links and I want to turn them to a frame. Now that they're a frame, I would like to set them to auto layout, and I want to set the gap to auto. I also want to reduce this frame width. Maybe I just want to set the gap to as I reducing the width. I would like to change this to variant 2, which has a drop down, and now it has a drop down. I also like to change the second one to variant 2, and the text is going to be changed to shop. The third one is going to be changed to variant 2, so you make sure you click it. And change it to variant 2. And I want to name this pages. The third one is going to be changed to block. And the fourth one, or the fifth one, is going to change to contact. I'm going to click on my frame that has all of them and name this nav links. For my frame, I would like to give it all content. Then change the gap to 20. I think it's well spaced between them. I'll also like to give the padding of the header 20 and 20. Let's close this nav links. In my header, I would like to create another frame inside. In this frame, I would like to have a text and in my text I'm saying wish list for this frame. I would like it to be auto layout, so it can help the content and you could see what's inside. For this wish list, I would like to duplicate it, and this one is going to be cart. Still on this frame, I'm going to my Iconify and I'm going to look for the search icon. I'm actually in search of like medium bold search icon, so I think I like this one more, and I'm going to import it as a frame, and it's there. Maybe give them a cap of 20. And remove the pattern because we don't need it. In this frame, I would like to exchange where this icon is, and also set the way to hot content. Now, the last thing I want to do here is to select this frame and exchange it here, so that this frame is going to be the last and this is going to be in the middle. Here I'm going to move this over here because I want to convert this to a component, and I'm also going to add a variant. For this variant, I want to name it mobile because it's going to be like for the mobile view, so I'm going to name it mobile view. In here, I would like to delete the snap links completely because we don't need it. I will also need to reduce the weight to like 460 or so. Here I'm going to delete the wish list and the cart, leaving only the search in this frame. I'm going to head over to Iconify and search for a cart. This is the cart I'm in need of, so I'm going to import it. Head over back to Iconify again and search for a heart. This is the heart I need, so I'm going to click it and import it. I would quickly want to exchange this. Yep, I like the way it looks now. In here, which is my mobile, I want to add a menu so that the menu could be clicked, and when it's clicked in the mobile view, it's going to like display the snap links. I'm going to head over to Iconify again and search for menu. I'm going to use a regular menu, but the one that has this rounded corners, so I'm going to click on this and import it as a frame. The logo is always supposed to be in the first, so I'm going to exchange this and put this in the middle. So you want to give this frame that is a parent of this icon a stroke. You're also going to make it an auto layout. We will have to increase the pattern to 4. We want to increase the weight to 30. Place the item in the center. Then also we want to give it a border radius of maybe 4. We also want to create another variant for when the menu is open. Here I want to frame this. Name this header. I also want to keep this at the top. In here, in my header, I want to delete this too. Then I'm going to select my header, head over to Iconify, and I want to create a times. I think I like this one, So I'm going to import it as a frame. Pause this up. Here I'm going to turn this to an auto layout. I'm going to make the width to fill the container and give the gap auto so that they can stay at the two ends. Now I want to grab this and paste it here. I'm making this vertical. It's vertical now. Also, I'm going to make this vertical as well. I want to reduce the height for this, and I think we're good to go. Yeah, I just want to make sure everything is in the middle, and we are done creating all the components for the header and the navigation. We head over to our desktop frame and we want to import assets, and what we are importing is the header. Here I want to turn my main desktop into an auto layout, a vertical one. I'm going to close my component. Notice here that my header is not in my desktop, because if it is in my desktop, it's going to move to the top. So I'm going to carry this and place it in my desktop. Here you could see now it's perfectly in my desktop and it moves to the top. I want to rearrange here, so I want to keep these assets here, the component, and here is my desktop. Here I'm going to name it home page so that my work is going to be more neat. Here now, because I didn't give it like a fixed width, I just gave it a random width. I am going to say fill container. So why the container is not yet filled is because when I turn this to an auto layout, it gave it some padding. So I'm going to click back on my home page and I'm going to remove the padding. I say 0 for the top and bottom, 0. Then for the gap, just give it 0 for now. And there you go. Now I added a stroke initially because I could not see my frame when I was creating this header. So I want to remove the stroke from my header. I'm clicking on my header now and we are removing the stroke completely. Now I want to add a stroke, but this is only for the border bottom. I'm going to click here, which is individual strokes, and I'm going to choose bottom. Now as you can see, my stroke only has a line on the bottom. It does not have a line by the side or by the top. This line is too harsh for me, so I'm going to click on the stroke and maybe give it something like 8F. So I'm going to click 8F, enter, and then for my stroke, which is my header, I also want to still reduce the opacity slightly to 30 maybe, and it's light now. I like it this way. We are done creating the header. Now quickly I want to move on to the hero component. So in my home page, I want to create a frame. This frame I would name hero. For this frame, it's going to be an auto layout, vertical. Also, I wanted to fill the container, so it's going to take the maximum width of the parent component. In my hero, I'm going to have 2 frames. Well, first let's create one. So in my hero, I'm going to have a frame. So I just created a frame in my hero. Let me give it a stroke so you could see this frame in my hero. I want to give this a fill container. Also, I want to remove for now the padding of my hero. For this frame, I'm going to pick my text element and click on it. It's going to be for my heading, new collections. This one, I want to change the font family. All the font family of my headings and headers is Marcellus actually. So it's changed now to Marcellus. The font size is going to be 72. It's going to be regular because it already has regular. In my frame, I want to create another element for text. Here, I'm changing this to just 18 pixels. I'm clicking here for my plugins and I want to search for a plugin I already have, which is Lorem Ipsum Universal. Here I want English medium, 1 paragraph, and I want to create. So I just created a random Lorem Ipsum here, which I'm just going to cut. Head over back to this frame and paste. Now on this frame, I want to turn it to an auto layout. I want to keep the elements in the middle. I want to exchange this. Then I want to reduce the gap between them to 20, maybe 18. For this Lorem Ipsum text, I want to change this to just 18 pixels. I still want to change this to title case. I want to increase the weight to be like almost the same weight with this one. And to me, I don't think this Lorem Ipsum text is enough. So I'm just going to highlight it, move over to my plugins again, click English, make this long, 1 paragraph and replace. I think it's quite okay now. I'm going to make this like to be in the middle. I'm also going to reduce the height here. There you go. In here, I want to create a collection of images in my hero frame. We are done with this frame too. But here we could just name this heading. In my hero frame now, I want to create a second frame. So just create a random frame here. Here, I want to give this a fill container. And I also want to increase the height. I move over to my component because I want to create a component. I'm going to duplicate this image and bring it over here. And then I'm going to create a frame over it. So it has a frame now. I'm going to change this frame to an auto layout vertical. Then for this width, it's going to hug the content. But the reason why it's not hugging the image is when this frame was created, it created a padding as well. So I'm going to remove this padding, and I'm also going to remove this padding. For now, I'll set this gap to 0. Now in my frame, I want to create like a text element. So here I'm just going to grab text and place. So now this text is in my frame. Here I'm just going to write something like salt, leather, jacket. So I've created this. I'm going to click this text and I want to change this to Marcellus also. I click back on my frame. This time I want to give it a stroke because I'm not really seeing what is happening here. Click my frame, add a text tool again on my frame. Here I want to add a lorem ipsum. So I say short, one paragraph, English, create, and it created a lorem for me, and I don't know why it keeps going up there to create a lorem. I'm going to paste the lorem here and reduce the height of the lorem. In this lorem, I want to give it just 18 pixels. Here I want to change the text color to 6/8. Enter. Which is changed now. And I also want to grab this two and frame them. In my frame, I want to increase the gap in between these two. I want to turn this frame to an auto layout. I also want to add a padding to the top, maybe 10 or 15. Then I want to add a button here. So I'm going to move here to create a button variance. Make sure it's just 18 pixels. In my button, I want to frame selection. So my button is a frame now. For this frame, I want to give it a stroke, but the stroke is only for the bottom. The color of the stroke is 8F. For my text, I want to make sure it's all uppercase. I'm going to select this frame again and turn it to an auto layout, so that it's going to take the full width. Thereby this stroke is going to increase. I think I want to increase the letter spacing a bit, not too much, maybe 6%. And there we've created our button. Here we are going to convert this to a component and create a variant for this. For the second variant, I would like to remove my stroke or fill it up, and I would like to fill it with the color of black. I'm going to select my text because you can't see it and change it to white. I'm going to select the frame again and add a pattern of 10 and 5. Maybe here I'm going to make it 12 and give it a corner radius of 5. Here I would like to increase this so that you can see my button. I also like to create another variance for my button, but first let's just make this 30 because we want like a very long button. And now I'm creating another variance for my button. Here I would like to maybe reduce this opacity a bit by 90 or 85. I would like to add a prototype for this button, and I'm going to select on hover or while hovering. I want it to change to variant 3. I want it to be a smart animate and maybe an ease out. Maybe here I'm going to change this to 800 ms. In this frame I would like to import my button. So I want to import an instance button. Here I would like to place it inside my frame. For this text, the height is taking, a very long space, which is not supposed to. And here you could see my button. I want to change the variant to variant 2. And the text, I want to change it to discover. Now, I want to say more. So it's been changed to discover more. Here I would like to remove my stroke back. I also want to change this back to default because I feel like this button makes more sense than the other one. I'm going to create a component and add a variant. For this component, I'm going to name it hero car. For the second variant, I would like to grab this image. So I'm just going to duplicate it, bring it over here. Maybe add it inside, then delete this guy. I would have preferred to have copy and pasted these images, but for some reason this copy and paste is not working when I try to. Oh, it is working. So I'm gonna copy this one as well. So I'm done. Here, feel free to like change the name. Yeah, just say maybe cream jacket, or here you're gonna like blazer, or just feel free to like change the name of the titles, but I'm gonna leave it this way because I don't really have a time to start changing the name for the individual titles. Now let's head over to our home page. Remember we had created a frame, this frame here, which is going to house these assets or these new cards for my hero. So I want to add this now. For this frame, I want to make it auto layout, auto horizontal. For this my main hero, I would like to make this a hug content. So it's going to like hug the content and reveal everything that's here. In my frame that contains my hero, I want to duplicate the hero 3 times. In this frame, it's on auto layout, but I would like to change this gap to auto. I want to remove the pattern for this frame. I'm going to add a pattern of 60. For this main hero, I want to add the pattern now of 100. Here it's going to like have a great space between it and this header. For my home page, I would like to change this to hug content so you could see the contents. Now this stroke right here, I had added it initially because I wanted to see what was happening, but now I don't think I need the stroke anymore. I also want to add a great space in between this header and this hero. You know, let me just say hero component. I also want to add a great spacing, so I'm going to click my hero and give it a gap of 60. That has like a very good spacing. So we are kind of done creating this hero, but this is like a slider. It has this arrow here and arrow here, and remember we had created like 7 to 8 elements, or maybe 6 or 5. We want the other images to be like sliding once this left or right is clicked. Here I would like to change the variant to 2. Here I would like to change the variant to 3. I am going to copy this hero component because we want to create the sliding functionality, and I'm going to paste it maybe right about here. In this hero component, I want to add some arrows, which is going to be here and here. Let's go to Iconify and pick an arrow. Say arrow. think this arrow is fine. So let's import it. Maybe just drag it here. And there you go, you can see my arrow. The frame that contains this arrow, we would like to add an ellipse here. I'm going to select the ellipse and this arrow, and I want to frame them. I'm also going to lift the arrow up so you could see it. For this frame, I want to make it an auto layout and place the arrow in the middle. I would like to make this arrow 30, then this ellipse 70, then 70. For the corner radius, let's just give it 0. Oh, it removes the circle. So here, let's give it 50. And now it's like a perfect circle. I'm going to remove the fill. For the stroke, I want to give it a custom color. So here I'm going to say E56E93. And it's going to give it this beautiful yellow color. I want to increase the width to 2. Then for this arrow, I want to give it this color I just created as well. For my arrow, I would like to rotate it to face here. I'm going to cut this frame. In here, I want to paste it, but I want to give it this position. I don't want it to be amongst the other layout. Here, I would like to place it by the side of this image. Here, I'll duplicate this and bring it out. This duplicated one, I want to rotate it or flip it so it can point the opposite direction. Here I would like to group them, increase their spacing, and give this 1000. 1400 or 200. I think it's okay this way. Now I'm going to select this hero component, making sure my group and all those 3 images are here. For this group, I'll just change the name to arrow. I've selected my hero component and I want to create a component out of it and add a variant. Here, I would like to exchange the position of these images. Here, I want to make this a variant 4. Also here, I want to add another variant. I'm going to exchange the position of these images, then change this to variant 5. Those are really cool images. There was a really cool image that was amongst them, but it's not literally here. So I want to quickly just add that image. Here, I'm going to select this. I'll just over here and add this image. I really love this image. Here. Now that I've added the image, I like to create a variant for that image. Drag here. Paste and place. Add another variant. For this, I'm going to bring it here. Then change it to variant 6. There, we've created variants for this. I want to create the click function using prototype. Here, I'll make sure I am selecting this arrow and I want this arrow to come to variant 2. So here you see on click, change to variant 2. It's going to be a smart animate, is in back 300 milliseconds. I'm going to make sure I'm selecting this arrow again, move over here, on click, change to variant 3, smart animate, is in back 300 milliseconds. Make sure you select this arrow again, on click, change to variant 4, like that. Then for this last arrow, I would like to change it back to the variant 1. So change to the default, come over here, change to variant 2, smart animate, is in back. Make sure you're clicking here, change to variant 3, smart animate. Then for this one, I would like to change it back to variant 3. This is going to make sure that when I click this image, this is going to swipe to the right. When I also click this arrow, it's going to swipe to the left. I'm going to leave this design, come over here. In my assets, I'm going to bring in this hero component. I'm going to delete this old one. How I know it's the old one is because it does not have these arrows. So I don't need the old one anymore. That's the new one I need. I also want to play this. So when we click this, it's actually changing. I want to create a component for the features. Here I want to create a frame. I want to name this feature card, features card. In here, I'm heading over to Iconify, and I want to bring in a calendar. I want to bring in a calendar icon, and I'm going to paste it in my features card. Close Iconify. Let's give this features card a stroke because I can't see what's happening in there. Yeah, I would like to give it a weight of 38. Same goes for the height. I also want to change this color to 8F. Make sure it's in the center. I want to add a text. Here I'm saying book an appointment. For this text, I would like it to be Marcellus. But for the font size, I want it to be 24. So I'm going to make it 24. Here it's going to be title case. I want to add another text. Here I'm going to bring in my lorem ipsum English short 1 create. So it's created a lorem for me. I'm going to cut it now and come over here to this place and paste it. I want to convert this to vertical. Now it's vertical. I also want to change this to be centrally aligned. Here is going to be just. 18 pixels, and I think it's gonna be 8F or 6.8. Can I check? It's gonna be 8F, so 8F, enter. And also want to reduce this height. Here I want to give them a gap of 20, padding of 10, and a padding of 10. I want to reduce the weight for this. Then give this 300. For this, I would want this weight to fill the container, and I want to remove my stroke. Here I want to convert this to a component and add a variant. For this second variant, I would like to make it a shopping bag, so I'm saying bag, and I'm going to select this bag. I would replace the icon, thereby it's going to like maintain the width and the height that I had used previously in this icon. I'll change this text to pick up in store. Here I want to create another one. Head over to Iconify, make sure you select this. I want a gift, and this is the gift I want. Replace icon, change here to special, packaging, add variant, click your icon, Iconify, arrow. Yeah, that's all I need. Replace icon. Here is free global returns. So I'm done with this. In my home page, I'm going to close this here. I want to create a frame in my home page. Here I want to give this also layout of horizontal, and this is going to fill the container of the home page. For this my new frame, I would name it features. For these features, I would like to bring the assets for the features card, so I can drag it and drop here. Here I like to duplicate it 4 times. Here I'll turn the gap to auto, padding to 60, padding to 60 again. There, we're done with these features. I would like to create another component for the categories. Here I'm going to create a frame, name it categories. Now my frame is created. I would like to come here and copy this image for my frame and paste it. Now for my frame, I'm gonna give it a stroke because I'm not literally seeing what's happening. This way I could see what's happening. Make it an auto layout. For my image that's in my category, I would like to give it a width of 410. In my category, I want to add a text. Here I'll say for men. So here I say for men. I would like to give this 16 pixels. So 16 pixels. Just 8 up. Then change this to uppercase. Remove the stroke. Make this a component. Add a variant. add another variant. Here, I want to copy this image. This is a woman, and I'm going to paste to replace. I would like to make this width fixed. So here I'm going to say 410. Then for the image, I would like it to like fill the container, so it's not going to shrink. Yeah, just going to add a WO to the woman. Let's create this one once more, and this one is for accessories. Place here to replace, and it's still shrinking. I don't know why. So here's for 10. Here is fill the container. I'm done creating this component. Here in my home page, we have the hero. The features, actually, it's in the hero, which was a mistake. We don't want the features to be in this hero, so we're gonna grab the features and move it above the hero so that it can come out, then move it below, if that makes sense. For my hero, it actually has a background color, so I'm gonna fill it up with F1, enter. Then the last one, I want to change that last digit to 0, so that's F1, 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 F0. There you go. Now on my home page, I want to create another frame. I want to create another frame in my home page, and it's going to fill container. This frame, I'm going to change this to categories. In my categories, I would like to bring in my assets for my categories. So I'll drag this inside here. It's not actually in the home page, so I want to grab this and put here. For this main categories, which is like this frame that contains the categories, I like to change it to an auto layout. I also want to change this home page to be whole content, so you could contain everything inside here. Here we want to duplicate this twice, and here we want to change the gaps to auto. The width is fill container. It has a pattern which it shouldn't, and there you go. Now we want to add the right pattern that's supposed to be here. So here it is 60, and here you're gonna see 30. We want to change this to variant 2, variant 3. We want, when hovered upon, this would scale inside. So here we want to create some variants for it. So here I want to create a variant. Here I want to make this a fixed height, and perhaps make this a fixed width. Remove the auto layout. Select only the image and scale it down to 90%. So the image is scaled down to 90%, but the other element maintained its position. Let me create for these guys as well. So here I want to create a variant. Remove this from auto layout. Select my image. Change this to 90%. Create a variant for this as well. Remove from auto layout. Scale this image to 90%. Create the prototypes as well for these ones. Prototype. Click on the woman. Make sure you drag it to the woman. See while hovering, change to smart animate ease out. For this as well, change to this. Change it to while hovering. Change to variant 6, smart animate ease and out 3000 ms. Go back to design. Come to my home page. Let's check the preview. So I hover on this. Over on this, over on this, and it works well. So below here I want to create a frame. For this frame I'm going to remove all padding. For the inside frame I want to bring in a text. Here in the text we're gonna say are new arrivals. For my text, I want it to be 24 pixels, miscellaneous, and uppercase. In my frame, I would like to bring in my button asset. So I'm going to place my button here. In this middle frame, I'm going to name it header or heading. In this heading, I want to turn it to an auto layout so that they're going to like take the full width, and also they're going to be spaced evenly. I'll remove all patterns because I'm not in need of them. For my parent frame now, I would like to bring in a frame inside my parent frame. This frame actually is in my heading, so I'll take it to my parent frame and exchange them. For this frame, I would give it a fill container, and I'm also going to give it an auto layout as well, and a height of hog. In this frame, I would like to create a frame. Just like that. In this frame, I would like to bring in our first image. So I'm going to copy this and paste. For my frame, I would like to make it an auto layout and vertical, width and height as hog. For this image, it's going to be a fill container. Head over back to my frame and let's name it product card. My product card now, I want to give it a fixed width and height. So this width is going to be 295 at the dot. Then the height is going to be 487. So I've created a width and height. I'm going to place this image at the top. In my product card, I would like to create a text, and here I'm just going to say cream cardigan, even though she's not wearing a cardigan. And I'm also going to add another text inside. Here it's going to be $95, which is an outrageous price for a cardigan. For this cream cardigan, I would like to change it to master those. Right here, I want to leave it at just regular 18 pixels. I would like to group these two together. Perhaps just reduce their gap to maybe 3. As well, I want to increase the gap here as well, maybe 20. I want to make this a component, and I want to add a variant. I will remove my component from here and maybe just place it here. Come back to the new arrivals. Inside this frame 9, I want to bring it back. So I brought back the product card to my frame 9. Here I want to duplicate it 4 times. For this, I want to give it a hawk content. Also for like the whole frame, it should be hawk content. For this button text, I like to change it to view or product. I would also love to copy this arrow that I have here. Make sure that you're in this frame 9 and paste it. So now this heading, no sorry, the whole frame, I want to create a component and add a variant. Here I'm going to say selling items. I'm going to click this variant too and add another variant. Here I'm changing this to you may also like. Here are the images that we are making use of. So I'm just going to copy this image. I'll head over where our components is, because when you try to like replace this, you can't because it's a component. So I'll head over here in my variant, place to replace. Here I'm going to create another variant and I'll do the same for him. I'm going to copy him, paste to replace. You could see him over here, copy her. Now I'm done pasting them. I would like to come over here and change here to like variant 2, variant 3, variant 4. You can also change the title. If you want, just to make them unique. Also, when I changed the name, they also are updating here as well. Now we're done creating this. We're gonna head over to our home page, to our assets, and bring in this frame into our home page. It's not really in our home page, so we're just gonna copy this and also take it down. Here we'll make the weight of a fill container. You're also going to make this width to be fill container as well. Now that this is fill container, I would like to change this gap to auto. We're going to select our parent component and name this best selling. Also, we want to give this a padding of 60. We want this to be scrolling when clicked as well, the way that this scrolls when clicked. So we're going to move over here and copy this first frame. Here I'm going to create a component and add a variant. I'm also going to add more variants to this. Here I would like to bring this to the end. Then change this to variant 5. That way when this button is clicked, it's going to change to this section, and when it's clicked, this woman is going to move over to this way, this man is going to move over to the second, and she is going to move over to the third. We're going to do the same for this. We're going to bring her over here, bring her over here. We're going to make this man like move over to here, she is going to move over to here, and this is going to be changed to variant 6. She is going to be changed to variant 5 actually, and variant 6. It's going to be difficult using that duplicated variant, so I'm going to duplicate this, move this man over here, change him to variant 7, duplicate this, move her over here, change her to variant 8, duplicate this, move her over here, change her to variant 9, duplicate this one more time, move her over here, change this to variant 10. I think we have to duplicate this again and move her over here, change this to default. In here I'm going to click on my prototype. For my arrow, when clicked it's going to change to variant 2. Animation is going to be dissolved, ease in 300 milliseconds. Also, when clicked again, this is going to be dissolved and even. Apply this here as well. Apply this here as well. Apply this here. And when you've gotten to the last one, I'm going to grab this arrow over here. And take it to the first default when clicked. This should lead me to the last one. When clicked, this should lead me to the up one. It's going to change to the up one when clicked. I'm going to select this arrow. When clicked, this should lead me to the top one. I'm going to do the same for this arrow. This arrow. This arrow. This arrow. This arrow. And this arrow. I'm going to copy this now. And we're going to replace this with this new frame. We're going to copy the second one. Load over to the best selling items. I'm going to paste to replace it. Copy the third one. Head over here. We're gonna paste to replace. Now we're done. Hopefully when we're gonna play this, it works. So let's play it. Let's create another section in this home page. Here we want to fill the container. For this frame, we'll just name it CTA. I also want to fill it up with the F1 color. That's F1, 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 F0. In this frame, I want to have another frame inside my frame. I'll give this frame an auto layout. I'm also going to give it a padding of 60. And for the padding top, I'll make it 80. For the frame inside, I'll give it a fill container and a fill container as well. Maybe not a fill container, but for the width it's going to be a fill container. For this frame inside, I would like to have like, well, maybe just one frame. So I'll create a frame in this frame. In this frame inside, I'd like to bring in this image. I'm going to copy this. Then I'm going to paste that. Here I'm giving it a auto layout, and it's going to be hub content. I'm also changing this home page to hub content, and this should be hub content as well, so as to bring in the full image. For this big frame, I like to create a frame here as well. Turn this to vertical or horizontal, I think. Then I want to exchange this image. I want to place it first before this frame. I can see this frame has a pattern, so I'm going to remove it. Also, I'm going to remove the gap as well. For this frame inside here, I wanted to fill the container. I also want to fill the container as well. In here, I'll add a color of white. Also in here, I'll add a text. Here I'm saying classic winter collection. This I'm going to make it Mercedes. I also want to make this 40 pixels. For this frame, I'm going to convert it to an auto layout. It's also going to have a padding of 60 and 100. In my frame, I like to add a text. I'll change this to 18 and just here I like to bring in my lorem ipsum. It's going to be a very long paragraph, English 1, and replace. Here in my text, I'll give it a width of fill container and the height. Also for my text, I don't want it to be uppercase, maybe sentence case or something, but not uppercase. Because I'm repeating this paragraph, I want to make it a component. So, or a text style, I'm just going to name it P, small p actually, and create it. Here I want to apply it here, so I'm going to select my text, click here and apply. Also I want to change it to 8F. For this frame, I like to bring in a button, so I just added my button to my frame. I would like to align my items to the left and in the center. For this button, I would love to use the second variant. Here I'll change this text to shop. That's a mistake. Shop collection. I think we're done for this section. The only thing is I don't want this width to take the whole space, so I'm just gonna like reduce this width, so it's going to like move on to the next line, and we are done. In this our home page, I would like to duplicate this new arrivals and bring it down here. I also want to change it to the variant 2, which is no longer new arrivals. What is best selling items now? In my homepage, I would like to create another frame. Here I'm just going to name it video section. Here it's going to be fill container. I'll move over here and grab this picture. I'm going to paste it. For my video section, I'll turn it into an auto layout. Then it's going to hug this image, thereby taking the full width and height of this image. The height is 673. Afterward, I would like to copy this image and paste in my video section. I'll remove this from auto layout and add here. I like to center it vertically and horizontally. Let's head over to Iconify. And search for a play button. You can add it over here and remove it from auto layout as well. Place it in the middle. Here we'd like to give this like 50, maybe 90. I'm going to place it in the middle again, and we're going to change this to white, or maybe let's change it to this F1, F1, F0 because white is so light. And I think we're done for the section. We're going to duplicate the section again. This time bring it below here. Increase the height of this home page to contain this. Here we would like to change this to variant 3, which is you may also like. It has the arrows here which can swipe images, because here, if you remember, we created the swipe slider for all these images. So yes, it's going to swipe. We could play this to see how far we've gone in it. Here you can see if I click it, it keeps swiping. Although I think there's a frame, this frame is not connected to anything because when I had clicked it, it did not work. Let's head over to prototype and check this. So as you can see, this is not connected, so we just connected it to the other variant. We just came out from prototype now, and hopefully when you get to that lady, she's going to swipe. So remember, the button was not working, but now it's working. We want to create a blog section to like put the blogs there. So I created a frame now, and I'm gonna make it view container. For this frame, I'm naming it blog section. So I just created a blog section. Let's copy this frame and paste it over in our components. Let's move it beneath here and also give it a stroke so we could see it. Here we'd like to steal this heading because it's similar, and paste it in here. Give the blog an auto layout. Now it's holding the element. We also want to increase the weight and this one as well. Maybe something close to 440. Now we want to create some cards for our blog. Here we'll create a frame. We come over here, copy this first image and paste in our frame. On this frame to auto layout and remove all gaps and all patterns. Increase the height. For the width of the block card, we're gonna make it 410 and 440. This width is going to be like view container, but this height is gonna be 260 at the dot. Let's create another frame here for the items, the description and so on. In this second frame, I like to bring in a text. Here I want to say something like how to look outstanding in pastel. So here in this frame, we want to give it an auto layout. Make the height to be fill the container. I want to duplicate this text. Turn this to vertical and it's going to fill container. For these, I would like some lorem. So I head over to my lorem ipsum, make this one and replace. I would like to change this to my P tag that I had created earlier. I also want to change this to 8F. We need another text, like a category as well, something fashion / July 11, 2022. I'm going to make this way to fill the container, so it's going to go over here, same as this. For this, I want to change this to just and something like 12 pixels. I also want to change the color to 8F, enter. I would like to group these two. Then I also want to reduce the spacing to like 3. After I've grouped here, I would like to like increase this gap to 15. And also here it's going to be like 12. I'm gonna copy this text. We are done with this card, so we want to create a component at the variant. For this variant, we're gonna copy this image. I'm gonna paste here to replace it. We're gonna add another variant. Copy this lady that's over here. And we're going to paste to replace. Here we want to change the text. Yes, crazy, fashion, wait, unique, moment. Here we want to change this, top and fashion, trend, for summer, for. Just the heading, we're gonna copy. I want to change them to 20. I think they look good already. In here, I would like to bring in my assets. So I'm going to bring in this here. I'm also going to duplicate this twice. Turn this to a frame. Make them vertical. Fill the container. Gap is auto. Here I'm going to change this to variant 2. Here's variant 3. Here I like to change this text to something like read blog post. Then we will remove the stroke we had added earlier because we are done with this. Head over to my hero section. I had already created a frame for it, but I think I want to delete this frame because it's already in a frame. So I'm deleting this frame. Head over to assets. Kind of looking for it. I cannot find it. Wait, let me name this. To block. Card. I'm going to cut this and paste here. I want to add a pattern of 60 and 30. Now let's create a session that have like those logo bars, all those logo bars here. So we want to create like a frame beneath this blog post, and we want to name it trusted by all partners, logo stripe, any other thing. Oh yes, I'm just gonna go with trusted by. I come over here and we grab all the logos. Then we come over here and we paste them. We convert this to an auto layout. I'm gonna give the gap to auto. This width is going to fill the container. We don't want it to have a pattern for the left and right, but for the top and bottom we would want it to have a pattern of 60 pixels, and that's it for this section. We want to quickly create a newsletter beneath this one. We create another frame for the newsletter. For this frame, it's going to have right about this kind of height. You come here and copy this image or paste it here. For this frame, we want to give it like an auto layout. Fill container. For this image, I want to fill the container as well, giving it the dimension of the image. I want to create a frame inside here, but this frame is going to ignore the auto layout. This frame is going to have a text that says sign up for newsletter. For my text, I want to give it, I'll give it a font size of 40, and also change this to P. Still on this frame, I want to create like an input for the email. So here I'm saying your email address. I'm going to change this to 12 pixels just, and here I want to change it to like a title case. Afterward, we're going to convert this to a frame and fill it up with a white color. After converting this to a frame, you want to give it an auto layout, a padding of 10, top, and top and bottom, left and right. For this frame, I want to give it like a width of 540 or 530. I also want it to be in the middle, so I want to center it in the middle of its parent div. For whatever is inside here, I want to convert this to an auto layout for whatever that is inside of it. For this input, I wanted to fill the container of this, and I also want the text to be like aligned to the left. For this, I want to remove every pattern that's here. I just want it to be plain like this. Then I want to bring in a button. Let me just drag it from here. I prefer that. The button is going to be beneath this input, and for this button, I want to change it to variant 2. The width is going to be fill container, and the text is going to be sign up. For this frame, which is the parent element, I would like to give it a background color so that you could see like whatever that's here, because it's kind of not so visible because the white and this background image is contrasting. So I love to like fill this up with the color, and I want to fill it with the F1, 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 F0. So I'll just type F1 and enter. But for here, I would like to change this to 0. Afterwards, I would like to like highlight this pattern to be a little bit 80 like opacity. I don't want it to be that visible, or 85. I also named this frame newsletter. I'll create another frame beneath here. For this frame, I'm naming it image gallery. I want to grab all those images here. And I'm gonna paste them here. I'm turning this to an auto layout. I also want to remove gap. I don't want it to have any gap at all. And I think we're done. Lastly, I want to create the footer for this website. So I want to create a frame here. Here, I'm naming it footer, converting it to an auto layout. For my home page, I will also convert this to hot contents. For this footer, I want to give it a background color, so I want to fill it up with B6, enter, and fill container as well. I want to create my first frame inside, and this frame is going to contain the logo, so I'm going to pick this logo and I'm going to paste it in this frame. Also, this frame is going to be an auto layout. Also, this frame is going to be an auto layout. So I'm just going to make this an auto layout. Remove the pattern. For this frame, I'd like to have some alarm. So I'm going to alarm IMSO universal. I'm picking English, short, one paragraph, and replace. Here I want to make sure that this width is okay, and the height as well. Flip this, and I also want to remove this uppercase, maybe turn it to a sentence case, reduce this height as well. I want to create a frame beneath this. Here I want to add like social media, logos. I'll turn this to fill container. I'm heading over to Iconify for the very last time, and I'm searching for Facebook. I'm picking this one and I'm importing it as a frame. Instagram. I'm picking this one, importing it as a frame. Let me say Twitter, even if it's known as X. Picking this one, importing it as a frame. YouTube. Pick this one, importing it as a frame. Let me say social. So search for social media, and there you go, Pinterest. Import as a frame. So for all this, they're all going to have the width of 24 and 24. I'm going to select everything inside this frame, and I want to change their color to 67570. I also want to change this to 8F. For this basics, I want to reduce the opacity a bit because it's kind of like too dark for what I need. I think it's better now. I'm going to make this hawk content. I also want to give them a gap of maybe 12, and I'm done with this. I'll create another frame here, and for this frame I want to add the nav items. So in my frame, first I'll have this that says quick links. For those quick links, I'm going to change it to Marcellus, and here is, it's gonna be 20, Marcellus 20. It's gonna be in uppercase as well. Afterwards, I like to have a text here that says home. For this text, it's going to be Joost, 18 pixels, and it's going to be sentence case. I'm going to duplicate this like sometimes. I'll paste it in the frame. Here it's going to be about services, single item, and contact. For those quick links, I would love it to like be an auto layout. I love to like group this, increase the space like something like 8 pixels for the spacing. Then here I would like to increase the gap like 10 or 15. Yeah, this is good. I won't want it to have a pattern at all for the left and right, and for the top and bottom as well, so that it's going to be on a straight line with this item. I will duplicate this one, move it a bit over here. Here I'm going to say help and info. I'm also going to add text for this, and I would like to create one last frame here. Here I would like to copy this and paste it here. Here would be contact us. Also in this frame, I would like to have a text that says, do you know? And I'm going to change it to 18. Here's just. Afterward, I want to change this color to 8F. Yeah, I want to convert this to an auto layout. I'll duplicate this and make this an email address. Here I'm going to add another question that says, do you need support? Give us a call. For the parent frame, I would like it to have content. Then I also want to reduce this. Here I'll quickly change this to a black text. I'll group this two, then reduce the space a bit. To maybe 2. I'll copy this text and I'm going to paste in this frame. Here I also add a random number. So I'm going to say plus 43215678. I also want to group this two as well and reduce the space into 2. For this contact, I'd love to like give it a spacing of maybe 15. I'm going to frame this and give it a fill container. I'm also wanting to make it an auto layout. Give it a gap of auto. like to add a stroke, or the stroke is only for the bottom. This stroke is going to be B6, but I want to make it 30% so that this can be a bit faint. For this frame here, I would like to give it pattern. So the left and right is going to be 60 at the left, 60 at the right, 50 at the bottom. So it's going to have a pattern before this border, but it's not going to have a pattern at the top because the main frame is going to carry the pattern. For the main frame, I would like to give it a pattern of 100. I also removed this tiny pattern that came with the main frame. Beneath this, or by the side of this, I'll create a pattern. But for this main frame, I'm going to make the auto layout vertical. I would make the auto layout vertical. Then I'll carry this beneath here. Make this field container. For the main frame, I wanted to hug the content. And also this should hug the content. The home page is going to hug the content as well, so that I can see what's beneath here. For the second frame, we're gonna have a frame here. In this frame, we'll have a text. This text will say reshape it. Turn this to an auto layout. Remove all pattern that was not added. Increase the width. We come over here and pick the first image, which is DHL. So reshape with DHL. Here in this frame, we're gonna add a DHL. I want to group this. In this frame now, I want to add another text. And my text says payment option. So we come back here and paste it, payment option. And the payment option are payment options like PayPal, MasterCard, and Visa. So copy in this frame. We're going to add it. And we want to group these guys together. Now they are grouped. For this frame, I'll just like give them a gap of 20 or 30 so that it can have a reasonable space. For this, I wanted to hug the content, so I'm turning this to an auto layout. Hug content, no padding. The padding we would want to give it is actually 60 so that it can align with the rest. So 60 and 20. Yeah, let's see. I think this is good. Now in the second frame, we would have like a text beside it. So we paste the text that says copyright. Actually, I'm not the owner of this. I'm getting my template from teamwagon.com. This is where I get all my templates for my coding videos and design videos. So I don't actually have designs on my own, but this is where I got my templates from. You could browse a lot of free templates here. They're not paid, they're all free. This is what we are working on, so this is where we got it from, so it's not mine. So I would really like to maintain the original copyright, because actually it's their right. So turn this on auto layout to take this to the end, and we are done with this homepage section. Now we click on frame and we want to click on a phone. I like using iPhone 14. Well, let's just stick to iPhone 16 Pro Max. It's the latest version currently, and I would like to increase this height to be very long. Not really too long, but so that we could work with it. Here we are changing this to a fixed width and also a fixed height. Don't mind this random number. Hopefully we're going to fill it with a lot of elements. We grab this and we paste here. So we've pasted it here, and it's kind of squish and mushy. Remember, in this component we had already created the nav bar for the mobile view initially. So here I want to change this to mobile view, and there it is. I'll just grab this all at once and paste here. For the parent leaf, I would like to change this pattern to 50. For this one, I would want to make this pattern 15. Then this is 0. Let's head over to this text, make it a field container. Head over to this text, make it a field container. For this one, I would reduce it to be like 40. Or let's just make it 52. We also want to make it aligned to the center. This as well should have its full height and it's aligned to the center. I would like to change this text color to 8F because that's what's in the original design, and 8F as well. Now for this parent element that contains all this, I would like to grab it here. I would like to change the pattern to 15. I would also want to delete the other elements aside this one here. So I want to delete them or just hide them. Here I want to make it vertical. I also wanted to fill the container. Here just going to hog the content. I want to remove this gap because we don't have any gap actually. I also want this to be in the middle. I want to remove this pattern to check something. I also want this to fit the container. There you go. Now for this hero component, I want to give it a pattern of 15, and it's good now. For this, it's kind of like a group that has 2 arrows, if you remember, for this navigation. I want to delete it entirely, then individually grab them and paste. So let me just place them here like that. It's actually a bad work, but yeah. So I've placed them here, and I think everything is okay for this hero component. I want to grab this, paste here. Here I want to make it vertical. I also want to reduce the padding to 15. This top and bottom to 30. Place the item center. I don't know how this will look if I fill the weight. They look better. They honestly do look better like this. Now, I want to grab this and paste over here. Here, I want to turn this to vertical. I want to remove my pattern and change it to 15. I'm going to leave this at 30. We head over here, grab this, paste. This is actually going to be, let me zoom in for you, 15. Then this is 30 is cool by me. We grab the second, which is this div. Sorry, did I say div? This frame over here, so we grab it. Let's move over here, copy this, and paste somewhere around here. Create a component, create a variant. For the variant, this is going to be vertical. We're also going to reduce this. Change this tab to auto. Also change this H to call content. This has a pattern of 10 pixels. Let's just give it a cap of 10. Let's delete this. Delete this. Delete this again. Let's move over to our assets. For this heading, we're gonna bring it here. I'm gonna bring it here as well. We're gonna bring it here. That way now we can work on this by clicking this and changing it to variant 2, making this a full content, no, a few container, and yeah, it looks good now. It looks well, it works. Here I want to grab these 2 arrows, like grouping them, just copy it, head over here and paste. I'm gonna bring it right about here. Yeah. Also here is gonna be a few container. We head over here, copy this section, paste. For this frame, I want to change this to 15. Here it's gonna be 30. Let's remove all gap. For the second frame, I want to make it vertical. The frame inside, I want to change it from fill container to bulk content. In here, I want to change this to fill container. Also in here, I want to reduce the padding. So here is going to be 20 and 30. We are done with this, and the next step is just new arrivals. Because I have it here, I'm just going to duplicate it, exchange it with this, and make it variant 2. I'm also going to grab these arrows and bring them here as well. Here, I'm going to grab this, paste here. Here I want to place it in the middle and in the middle. Here I want to place it in the middle. Also this image, I want it to fill the container. For this, I want to scale it down to like 400. Make sure it's in the middle. Then this, I want to place it vertically in the middle as well. And scale this vector down to 20 and 20. Place it in the middle again and in the middle. So they are now both aligned to the center of the page. I'll duplicate this again and exchange it. I don't really like how this is appearing. So I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna delete this. Then I want to copy this, paste beneath here to create a frame for like the mobile version. First thing I'll do here is like change this to something like 430. Also cannot change anything here because it's still like connected to this component, so I just detached the instance now, and after detaching the instance I think I can now change this, but it's still having a component. So finally I've detached the instance, and yep, I just gave it a vertical. Here I'll say whole content. For this frame, I would like to detach all instances. I think I'll do the same for the cards as well. I'm going to delete 2 cards from this. Then this first and second card, I like to make this like 200 or so. For their images, I want them to fill the container. Just gonna fill the container. Click the image one more time. Fill the container. For their height, I want them to bulk content. I'm going to delete this arrow that comes with it. I think I can see a pattern here. Let's make it 15. Let's remove all pattern entirely and in the top bottom as well. Afterwards, I would like to create a frame inside here, so just create. Afterwards, I would like to create a random frame in here. In this frame, I would want to like bring in my ellipse, hold down shift and your cursor to have like perfect shape. So I'm going for 12 pixels. Then I'm going to duplicate it. For this, I'm going to put it in the center. So I'm going to make it an auto layout. View container. Gap is auto. Padding is none. This is none as well. I'm just going to grab the 2 of them. And group it. In here, I'm converting this to an auto layout, view container, and put them in the center. For this, I would want it to have like a darker shade, something a bit light or so, like that. Let it just have 2 different options. I'm also going to reduce this or convert it to for content. Make this a component, add a variant. So let's just quickly change the images here. Paste to replace. View container. We're going to create another instance for this. Move it over here. Space. Create another instance. I want to grab picture we've not used before. Here, copy, paste to replace, shape container, copy her, paste to replace, and there you go. So I would like to change this to this. There's the 8F. I think it's 8F. So the same color. D9 actually. So here, change this to D9. And here just leave it this way. I could see I never changed this header, so here it's gonna be like selling items. Here's gonna be you may also like, just copy this up, paste here, copy this up, paste here. Now for display, we want to delete whatever we have done here and bring in this asset here. Here we want to move it to be below this, so I want to move it up and up, so it's gonna be below this. Also here I'll delete, duplicate this, bring it below this and below this, change this to variant 2. I also can see that it needs some padding, so let's give it a top padding of 30, and here I want to give this a padding of 15. Here we wanted to fill the container. We do the same for here, 15, 30, fill the container. I'll delete this, we no longer have any need for it. Hopefully it's no longer, on this session. We duplicate this one more time and delete this. We're gonna have this above here and below here. Here I want to copy this block session, paste it over here, make my pattern 15, gap is pattern is going to be 30, gap is 10, vertical, convert this to vertical as well, page is hot content, I'm also going to make this hot content as well. W is going to be fill container for the block section, and I think we're done. Basically here I want to see if we can convert this 0 gap, maybe just give it a gap of 3. There you go. I want to copy this now, paste here, make this 30, make this let's just leave it as vertical. It's going to be like scrolling, continuously. So that's the vibe for this one. So we're gonna just leave it as vertical. Head over here, copy this, paste. Let's give this a height of 400. W of fill container. This height is going to fill the container as well. This is going to be like reduced here. Here I wanted to fill this container, centerize it. I think this is okay. I would like to give this email a rounded border because this has a round border. So corner radius will be 4. So it's going to match the vibe of this one. Corner radius is 4. So here we want to create a grid that has 2 rows and 3 columns. So in my mobile view, I want to create a frame. This is going to fill container. Here I want to turn it to a gridded auto layout. So here's 2 and here's 3. Click enter. I don't want them to have a gap, so I'm going to give them a gap of 0. Now I want to grab these images individually from here, come here and paste in each grid section. We should increase the height to maybe match this image. Do the same for the second. Is it? Is it? We are done with the session. Lastly, we're going to copy our photo and paste here. We want to make this pattern 50. Then we'll click on our first frame. We're going to change this to vertical. And here we're going to change this patterns to 15. 15 and 20. In here we want to make this a fill container, so it's going to respect our patterns. In here we also want to increase the gap by 20 or 30. Here we want to fill container, do the same for this as well. This one we want to make it vertical, make it 15. Maybe we should leave this 20. Click here, fill container, fill container. This height is now going to hug the content. And we are done. So that's it for this tutorial. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking by. Thank you for staying to the end. If you are yet to subscribe to my growing channel, please subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to bring more premium contents like this. I can't wait to see you in the next video. I'm Claudia Chess, and goodbye.